It's
Do
your
you have
podcast.
to be a licensed real estate agent to do wholesaling?
It depends. If you live in Utah right now, that answer is no. If you live in Chicago, yes. If there's some states, and it's becoming more prevalent, where yes, you do have to have a license. I happen to have a license because I am a person who likes to comply with rules.
Well,
And
thank you for
I
saying that.
don't, yeah, I don't want to take any chances of doing anything outside of the boundaries of what is legally and rule wise acceptable. I want to make
because
sure
acting
that
as an agent in the role of an agent without being licensed as an agent could get you in some serious trouble.
it could, depending on what you disclose and what's legally acceptable in the state you live in. Now, you can wholesale in Utah without a license, but again, I will be very clear. You want to make sure everything is in writing, everyone is notified, and everyone is in agreement. Because the thing that is important to remember is if you don't have a seller and yourself and the contract that is all in agreement with how you are acting, then you are a bad actor. You are not acting within the bounds of the law, and you are being sneaky or conniving. And I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that are. And I'm sure there are people who believe that wholesalers in general are.
Right.
But not all of them are. I work with
Look, I
some
don't
really
think
good
wholesalers
people.
are shady at all. And matter of fact, I actually have probably 2 or 3 different wholesale groups that send properties. I get them on my, via text or email. And every time I do, I click on the button, look at the pictures, and say, yeah, is this a property that I'd want to actually renovate? Is this a property I'd like to want to buy?
Sure.
I mean, 99% of the time, I'm going to tell you, honestly, no, I don't. I either know the area or I know the work involved with it. And there are many, many other people that want to take that chance or, have the funds to just, maybe hold on to them for a while, renovate them and do some other things. But
Sure.
is that what you do? Do you get a bunch of lists and send out to people? I mean, how
I,
do you find your
I,
buyers and the investors?
well, I do have some lists that I call, mostly I look around me and I see what's there. And if I drive by a property, for example, that has weeds up to here and the windows may have boards or may not, but it looks in trouble, I will write down the information and I will search for the seller. The other option I have is to go to the county and get records for people who are distressed.
Gotcha.
And
And when you say distressed, we're talking notice of default, possibly a short
correct.
sale, maybe going into foreclosure.
Correct. So they've got some problems. They've got tax liens, HOA liens. I recently saved a house from being foreclosed on by the tax commission. And yeah, in fact, they didn't even know that they were 1 month away from not being able to live in their home. And see, they
I have
owned it
a dear
outright.
friend who had his home foreclosed on from HOA for a failure to pay his HOA fees.
Correct. That happens.
And it was pretty sad because he had
and these guys own the house outright. They own it outright and didn't know that their taxes weren't, they knew they weren't paid. They didn't know they were going to get them lose their home.
Well, I think it's 7 years in Utah before you can sell a house on delinquent taxes.
This was in Idaho and it was like 3 years. That's all.
Oh, wow.